Have you ever felt like a voice inside you was fighting with the outside world? People label this behavior as antisocial. It's not because you're depressed or lazy, it's because your soul is sending you the message. This is not where I belong today. Is it a coincidence that I'm sending you this message right now? No, it's not. It's one of the divine laws of the universe and heaven. Yes, the law of attraction. You feel extremely lucky that I'm conveying this message to you, don't you? Before moving on to the message, please like the video so that this message can reach other people, dear soul. You must also receive and accept the message with love. If you write "I have received and accepted it with love" in the comments and seal it with 555, you will maintain the balance of giving and receiving. Don't forget to stay tuned and subscribe for our other messages, says Archangel Michael. Now we can slowly move on to the message. You are missing something. What if they're wrong? What if your desire to stay home isn't a sign of weakness, but a divine message? Those who choose silence over noise, solitude over crowds, to feel more alive, they will be the subject of this film, and I will uncover 6 spiritual truths about them. Ultimately, you may realize, be conscious of the fact that your solitude is not an escape, but rather a metamorphosis. For those of you who already feel that this speaks to something deep within you, click the like button right now. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a remark with the number 99. This is because, from a spiritual perspective, 99 indicates that your soul is prepared to break free from the distractions that come from worldly life. Additionally, make sure you remain until the very end, since this message may finally clarify what your spirit has been attempting to convey to you for over a decade. First and foremost, you are not concealing, rather, you are healing. Avoiding the world is not something you do because you are afraid of it. Considering that you are awakened, you choose to prevent it. There is a distinction, and it is high time that you were aware of that distinction. In the outer world, things move too quickly, people talk too loudly, and the atmosphere is too superficial. The talks are useless, the connections are superficial, and there is an unlimited amount of noise that is disguised as usefulness. When you find yourself feeling exhausted rather than motivated by the continuous hustling that everyone praises, have you ever paused to wonder why? What is it about busy places that delight other people that makes you feel like you have nothing to do? It is important to pay close attention because this is not merely a peculiarity or a characteristic of you. Your soul is functioning at a frequency that is different from the norm. The tone is tuned to something that is more profound, more nuanced, and more divine. The voice whispering in your head is not looking for chaos. It is a desire for the truth. And the truth is less likely to flourish in the midst of confusion. Those who have been chosen are aware that this world does not provide nourishment. What it consumes is. It derives its sustenance from energy, attention, and accomplishments that are only surface. Nevertheless, there is tranquility within your own house. Absolutely no disturbances. The kind of tranquility that the majority of people would spend their entire lives looking for, but would never actually discover. Home is more than just the place where you reside. Is the place where your soul takes its breath? When you have been exposed to a chaotic environment, it is the tranquil temple where your heart can readjust to its new state. What if, however, your urge to remain at home is not at all motivated by a desire for comfort? What would you do if you were to discover that your higher self is directing you toward a more profound purpose that can only be realized in solitude? Your withdrawing from the world is not the same thing as retreating. Regeneration is taking place. Your lack of sound is not attributable to your silence. Specifically, it is the existence of spirit. You will find that your intuition becomes more acute, that your dreams become more clear, and that your spiritual abilities become more robust. It is important to pay attention to those tiny moments. It is the silence that sends shivers down your spine when you are by yourself. Instantaneous intuitive realizations that appear out of nowhere for no apparent reason. Dreams that have a more prophetic quality to them than dreams that are merely the result of random imagination. There is no such thing as a coincidence. These heavenly crumbs will lead you to the purpose that you were meant to accomplish. Consider the situation. When you spend a significant amount of time at home, do you find that your perception of the world shifts? You start to pick up on connections that other people overlook, and you begin to experience energy that most people would never notice. You are able to identify fraud, sense sincerity, and experience truths that others fail to recognize because of your isolation, which sharpens your spiritual eyesight. In no way are you excluding the rest of the globe. You are honing your senses in preparation for the time when you will have to return to it. But the term hiding is used by society. Despite the fact that they characterize it as lack of strength, avoidance, and anxiety, they are completely off base. There is no basis in terror in this. It's founded on common sense. An important realization has occurred to you without conscious awareness. It is not accurate to say that the exterior environment reflects your interior reality. You have reached the point where your soul is sick of attempting to conform to vibrations that distort its actual essence. If you choose to remain at home, you are demonstrating your reluctance to betray yourself through a silent act of resistance. Moreover, this is the place where the secret magic is revealed. Your capacity for spiritual resilience will increase in proportion to the degree to which you embrace this silence. You are getting ready for something truly remarkable with each and every tranquil time you spend by yourself, especially during the early morning meditation sessions and the quiet evenings. Your spiritual, mental, and energetic alignment is being prepared for a future job that requires you to have complete clarity, inner power, and authenticity. There is no way that you are evading responsibility. In doing so, you are acknowledging your divine assignment. So, let's delve a little deeper. Is it possible that the fact that you are isolated can also serve as your best protection? What if the cosmos is purposefully preventing you from coming into contact with some locations and individuals? Your soul's resistance to engage with the outside world may be stopping you from falling into emotional traps, toxic settings, and spiritual ambushes that are designed to drain your essence. Have you given any thought to the possibility that this may be the real reason? Remember that those who are chosen frequently travel roads that others are unable to see. They have the ability to detect spiritual landmines even before they are ever stepped on. They are able to recognize the unsavory influences that are concealed beneath the lovely grins and appealing remarks. Your withdrawal is not an act of cowardice. This is the ability to strategize. When someone tells you that you should go out more, you should remind yourself in a kind way that this journey is not for them to comprehend. It is a one-of-a-kind journey. Your calling is so uncommon. You are in the process of preparing something significant and strong within yourself, something that it is not yet ready for the outside world to see. After that, I will now reveal the fascinating reality. Your time spent alone is not only helping you get ready for something, but it is also concealing you for a specific cause. It is because you are about to be disclosed that you are being concealed. The world will not witness a fragile individual rising from a state of solitude when the time arrives for your genuine duty to be carried out. They will be witnesses to the process of a tremendous soul coming forward, having been healed, awakened, and completely prepared. But until then, there remains one mystery that has not yet been solved and is waiting to be discovered. There is a more profound layer hidden behind your seclusion, a feeling that your soul has picked up on, but which your conscious mind has not yet fully comprehended. Additionally, when you do so, everything will change irrevocably. I want you to stay with me because the next fact will finally reveal this secret reality and provide a response to the inquiry that your heart has unquestioningly posed until now. Second, your energy is sacred, and you are aware of everything that is going on around you. You don't need to be overly sensitive. You're not overthinking the situation. You are not a dramatic person. You have a spiritually observant nature, and that is what makes everything different. As soon as they enter a room, the majority of individuals notice the walls, the furniture, and the people in the room. However, you are able to sense the temperature of the spirit that is there in the air. The significance of words that are not spoken is felt by you. You are able to detect the lingering effects of previous disagreements, concealed tensions, and covert jealousy. It is not a matter of your imagination. It is up to your own discretion. This presents both a gift and an obligation. It's not simply that crowded spaces make your body feel overwhelmed. They also make your spirit feel assaulted. Something inside of you begins to contract the instant you enter certain situations. The phoniness that lies behind the laughing is palpable to you. You become aware of the vitality that lies behind the silence. When other people pretend something doesn't exist, you can sense it. Furthermore, that sensitivity, that sacred radar, is not something that you could have chosen for yourself. It is something that your soul bore from the moment of your birth. The thing is, however, that nobody tells you this. The experience of feeling everything comes at a price. It is like walking into a storm without an umbrella if you are feeling this energetically open. Every single phrase, every single stare, and every single change in energy is absorbed into your own essence. Furthermore, if you do not act intentionally, you will be suffocated by energies that were never intended for you to carry. Because of this, remaining at home is not merely a matter of personal preference. It serves as your safe haven. It is your method of preventing chaos, ego, and energetic pollution from taking control of your frequency and causing it to be disturbed. The loudness of the world is something that the majority of people are unaware of. It is not through sound, but rather through soul static. People who show signs of suffering. Unresolved traumas that are echoed in certain locations. Moments that were tense with strain that was not visible. Everything is palpable to you. Your spirit is aware of it, even if no one else is and does not notice. Despite the fact that no one else is flinching, your intuition becomes more acute. In the event that no one else expresses their opinion, your body will react. Therefore, although they make fun of your need for space and criticize your absence from social settings, they have no idea how many battles you are actually fighting in silence in order to maintain your integrity. You are not a fragile person. You have a really high sensibility. If you are not kept in the appropriate environment, your sound will get distorted, just like it would with any other instrument that has been finely tuned. The fact of the matter is that your energy was never intended to be exposed in a casual manner. It was not intended for you to be accessible to everything and everyone at all times and in every place. Because you carry a heavenly signature, it is imperative that you protect anything that is divine. Because of this, your soul will begin to pull you away from individuals who deceive with their energy, from settings that ring with competitiveness rather than connection, and from talks in which the truth is buried under performance. This will happen without you even being aware of it doing so. Furthermore, it is not because you are passing judgment. The reason for this is because you are protecting, maintaining your clarity, maintaining your peace, and safeguarding your mission. However, we should delve even farther since there is a fascinating process taking place within you. Something that not only explains why you feel that way, but also what those sensations are trying to convey to you is what you need to know. What happens if your sensitivity isn't just about protecting yourself, but also about being ready instead? Is it possible that the reason you feel so strongly is because you are destined to see things that other people are unable to notice? This sensitivity conceals a blueprint that is waiting to be discovered. You have been selected to play a role that is kept a secret. People who are able to feel everything are the only ones who can truly step into it. You are not here to endure the din of the environment. As a result of your presence, it will be interpreted, translated, and transformed. On the other hand, there is one item that must come before that kind of spiritual job: acquiring command of your own energies. Your spirit will finally be able to breathe freely, uncluttered, and untangled from the emotional web of the world when you first arrive at your house, which is where this journey begins. Mostly due to the fact that you will soon be protecting more than simply your frequency. What you will be doing with it is going to be much more significant than you could have ever thought. And what exactly is that something? We are about to find out in the following sentence. So keep your distance. What your energy was actually intended for will become clear as you discover the following reality. The third truth is that your spirit is aware of a completely distinct timing. In the same manner that a machine operates, the world is always moving, constantly reaching, and constantly functioning. You are instructed to move more quickly, do more, and work more diligently. In addition, if you do not, they will accuse you of being unmotivated, irrelevant, and lagging behind. However, your soul is more knowledgeable. Speed is not something you seek. What you want is the truth. You yearn for more depth. You have a strong desire for something that is genuine enough to outlive the noise. While most people are preoccupied with numbers, views, and validation, you are preoccupied with alignment. You are standing by, anticipating the presence of that unseen inner green light. That hallowed yes, that does not originate from the outside world, but rather from within an individual. Another paradox that they will never be able to comprehend is this one. You're not a slow person. You have that right, mainly due to the fact that heavenly time cannot be measured by clocks. As a measurement, it is based on alignment. Moreover, alignment cannot be hurried through. This is the reason why being at home seems so natural, mostly due to the fact that you are not being tugged in every direction therein. You do not find yourself caught up in the tornado of fabricated expectations of time. There is no expectation that you will pretend that continuous motion is synonymous with meaning. When you are at home, you are operating in a different plane of time, which is your own spiritual rhythm. And the rhythm in question is terrible. This is not necessarily a logical argument. There are times when it does not make sense to other people. From time to time, there is complete silence. When all of a sudden something changes, doors open, ideas flow, and everything speeds up, it appears as though success has occurred overnight. On the other hand, you are aware that it did not happen overnight. Divine was the word. You had been moving all along, but you were moving at a rate that was purposeful rather than under pressure. Continue to delve deeper. When you stop attempting to determine your value based on what you have accomplished in the present moment, a significant change takes place. This is the moment when you stop freaking out because someone else arrived before you. When you come to the realization that the destiny that God has planned for you is not going to be awarded to anybody else. Without a doubt, your spirit is aware that speed is not the source of genuine fulfillment. The sequence is the source of it, step by step, in a manner that is aligned. Additionally, patience, serenity, and discernment are all necessary components of this kind of trip. This is the reason why your spirit is resistant to being hurried. When timing is forced, it is aware of the consequences. There were errors, misalignments, and messages that were overlooked. As a result, you lower your speed, not because you are perplexed, but rather because you are paying attention. And when you focus your attention on listening, you start to hear something that no one else can. The beat that your fate predetermined for you. It beats beneath the surface of the silence that surrounds it. There are times when the world appears to be completely still, and it is during these times that it reverberates. On the other hand, at the spiritual level, everything is being reorganized. You, on the other hand, are moving in spirals, climbing higher each time you return to yourself, while they are all out there running in circles. Don't let the fact that you're traveling more slowly bother you. If you are falling behind, you should not apologize. That particular time frame was never intended to accommodate you in any way. Your arrival is not late. You are well inside the heavenly time frame. The catch is that there is a twist. You are not only experiencing serenity in the stillness that you have been relaxing in. A portal is what it is, and you can expect something to move through it soon. A certain something is developing within the silence that you have respected. It is a revelation, a calling, and a moment that is specifically created for you. You will, however, need to comprehend one item that has been concealed beneath your timing the entire, while in order to properly accept it. A precious thing that connects your rhythm to a far more important function. In the following truth, we will reveal the secret to unlocking that concealed key. Please do not turn away. You are beginning to comprehend the reason why you were never intended to move in the same manner as the rest of the planetary population. The truth number 4 is DTO Pohat GPT. This is not a lonely place. You have this connection on a more advanced level. Loneliness occurs. If they see you by yourself, they will use that word, but they will not comprehend what is actually taking place. Many people are afraid of being alone because they believe that when the noise ceases, the distractions will also end. And once the distraction is no longer present, the truth will start to emerge. The vast majority of people are not prepared to hear that voice, but you are. During this time, individuals are busying themselves by filling their calendars, attending events, and packing their days with activities in order to avoid sitting motionless. In the midst of the silence, you sit and listen. The mornings are peaceful, which you enjoy. You are able to recover through the use of gentle music that carries light. When you take an extended pause, you tend to breathe more deeply. Additionally, you engage in unhurried discussions with God that do not require the use of language, but rather need simply your presence. It is not a case of loneliness. The divine is approached in close proximity. People reveal more about themselves than they do about you when they ask you, "Don't you get tired of being alone?" For the reason that they find quiet to be terrifying. On the other hand, it is holy to you. Yes, you are experiencing the pain. There will be times when the silence becomes oppressive, the nights will be drawn out, and there will be occasions when you will question whether or not anyone fully comprehends what you contain within you. However, despite the pain, you are not devoid of anything. Your business is growing. Because this is something that no one will ever tell you. It is not always the case that genuine connection appears to be company. At other times, it appears to be a completely silent chamber, a diary that is stuffed with unfiltered thoughts, or a candle that is burning softly in the shadows. Having a conversation with no one else present can sometimes be the most compelling experience. There is no emptiness in your times of solitude. In this womb, dreams are conceived, healing begins, and your purpose is incubated until the time is right. It is a place where these things happen. Consider the situation. The majority of the prophets were not found among large groups of people. The noise was unable to reach them, but heaven was able to do so. They were discovered in caverns, wildernesses, deserts, and underground regions. In the meantime, you are also being prepped in quiet. Separation is necessary for the preparation being discussed. There is no disconnect between you. The adjustments are being made to you. The world outside of you is beginning to feel like it is no longer essential because your inner world is growing so vibrant. You are not in need of the validation that comes from being noticed. You have made contact with something that is eternal and cannot be seen, which is what makes you stand out from the crowd. It is not your intention to attract attention. You're looking for optimum alignment. There is no desire for interaction on your part. You are developing a closer relationship with God, with your soul, and with the purpose that you have chosen. Additionally, during those times when you are by yourself, your spirit raises its voice above your anxieties. You will find that your clarity shines brighter than your uncertainties. The depth of your faith extends beyond the confines of your alone. Due to the fact that what is occurring within you is not a state of absence, but rather one of activity. This is when things become interesting. The vast majority will never grasp it. It is this feeling of isolation that they dread so much. It is not a failure on your part. You can use it as armor. It is precisely the seclusion that is protecting you at this moment that will eventually render you spiritually inaccessible to a greater extent. On the other hand, there is something else. This holy place of yours conceals something that the majority of people never get to see. It is a door that requires you to sit in silence for a sufficient amount of time before it opens. So, what exactly is that door hiding? A revelation for sure. This is a spiritual advancement. There comes a time when you realize that you have never been alone. It seemed as though you were encircled by something more significant. In addition, you will finally comprehend the reason why your home has the aura of a hallowed place, as well as the manner in which it has been subtly training you for a position that the world is not yet prepared to accept. Come along with me. Just now, the true awakening is starting to take place. The fifth truth. Your home serves as your sacred space. For walls are visible to them. You have witnessed a holy place. It appears to them to be everyday furniture. You experience a sense of spiritual protection. Your house is more than just a place for you to relax and unwind. Your spirit will be refreshed when you visit this location. Those who have been chosen do not have a place to hide in their homes. This is not a safe alternative. It's not a method of last resort. It must be a temple, an altar, a divine meeting place between your spirit and the unseen, between the visible and the invisible. When you light the candle, it does more than just create an atmosphere. This is the manifestation of its aim. There is a secluded spot where you can utter your prayers whispering. There is a portal through which heaven opens its ears to listen. That eerie silence that has an oddly contented feeling. This is due to the fact that you are not alone. In that place, there is always something holy waiting for you to discover it. Every single thing that is there in your space starts to acquire significance. You find yourself going back to that book over and over again. These are not merely literary works. What a revelation it is. That cozy blanket that comforts you after a long night of sleeplessness. Not only is it a source of consolation, this serves as a spiritual cloak. The music that is mild. It is that incense. That cup of tea that you are holding while you are staring into nothingness. Nothing is a chance occurrence. As a ritual, it is. Rhythm is the word. Realignment is what it is. Organizing your space is not the only thing you do. It is energy that you are aligning. You are removing the spiritual static from the environment. You are shaping the environment so that it can accommodate the information that your soul is about to receive. Because there is no need for you to shrink while you are in your own home. It is not necessary for you to filter. You are not required to have your spirit translated into a language that the rest of the world can comprehend. This is the place where you can cry without having to explain it, laugh without holding back, pray without having to provide proof, and feel without fear. Your home becomes the only place where the peace you feel on the inside can eventually merge with the peace you feel on the outside. And gradually it starts to grow and change. The location of your home is no longer the only factor. It becomes the point at which you climb. You are able to have spiritual discussions with the world of the unseen on this hallowed ground. A womb in which alternate versions of yourself are quietly being born in the future. Not only does it reflect who you have been, but it also shows who you are turning into. Consider the situation. How many times have you gone inside the front door of your home and felt a change in circumstances almost immediately? It felt as if you could finally take a breath again. That's not only a relief either. This is known as readjustment. Due to the fact that the outside world requires performance, your soul is discovering the frequency in which it was intended to relax. However, the presence of your home is encouraged. There is a need for masks from the outer world. With your house, however, you are able to let your spirit be unfiltered, raw, and radiant. To put it another way, this is the point at which anything truly mystical starts. For the reason that when you treat your house as if it were an altar, it begins to behave in the same manner. In the midst of solitude, you will become aware of signs, waves of clarity that appear out of nowhere, spontaneous releases of emotion, dreams that are laden with meaning, and moments of divine instruction. In addition, the more you take care of that area, the more it will automatically start to take care of you. In this way, it transforms into a shield, a source, and a shelter. The reason for this is not the contents of the item, but rather the effort that you have put into it. This includes your vitality, your prayers, your tears, and your willingness to surrender. Also, here is something that the majority of people never realize. It is not the size or beauty of your home that determines whether or not it represents a sacred space. It is determined by the frequency of its occurrence. Despite the fact that you are living in a single room with no amenities at all, you are nevertheless able to host the presence of something that is eternal. Mostly due to the fact that when your house is transformed into an altar, you begin to commune with it rather than simply entering it. However, at this point, the mystery is still being revealed. This holy place that you have made all by yourself. Not only has it been mending you, but it has also been preparing you for the future. Getting you ready to bring something into the world that can only be born in silence, which is how you will be prepared. You will also learn the reason why your private sanctuary serves as the launching pad for your public destiny in the following reality. We are really close to arriving. Please don't blink. The ultimate metamorphosis is looking forward to it. The sixth truth is that they will not comprehend me. As for that, it's okay. There will be a look of bewilderment on their face. You need to get out more. You're too young to be this distant. You're missing the best years of your life, they will say. You're missing out on that. However, you are aware that they are speaking from a location that you no longer reside in to a certain extent, due to the fact that this is the truth. The reason they are unable to comprehend your silence is because they have never been in your position. The reason they are unable to comprehend your solitude is because they are afraid of what they might hear in their own. Due to the fact that they have consistently associated noise with significance for an excessive amount of time, they are unable to comprehend your silence. As for that, it's okay. There is no responsibility on your part to clear up their misconception. There was never any intention for your path to be apparent to the general public. A tiny road, one that was not paved with applause but with alignment, was purposefully constructed for you to walk. You have no intention of synchronizing your beat with that of the world. In order to follow your divine frequency, you have arrived here. As a result of this frequency, you may find yourself avoiding parties, distractions, and talks that are superficial. Instead, you may find yourself entering nights of introspection, tears that purify, and moments with God that reorder everything. There is a possibility that people will describe you as being too quiet, too deep, too distant, or too intense. To tell you the truth, however, you are simply overly aware. The appearance of a false connection has been demonstrated to you. You have experienced the void that comes with not fitting in. Have you ever experienced the acrid taste of being average when your soul was destined to be different from everyone else? This is something that cannot be undone once your spirit has become aware of it. You stop elaborating on your own position. You cease shrinking in order to make other people feel comfortable. It is no longer necessary for you to apologize for respecting your own energy. As time goes on, you come to the realization that not being understood is not a curse. This serves as a confirmation. That you are no longer going around in circles is the meaning of this. Even if you are ascending, not everyone will be able to breathe where you are heading. Wait for that to set in. There is no disconnect between you. You have been refined, untainted, concentrated, and summoned. Every time you make the decision to prioritize silence over noise, purpose over pressure, and calm over stimulus, you take a step closer to developing the identity that heaven has been whispering into your soul for a very long time, long before the world had an opinion. And this is what makes it so crazy. People who make fun of your seclusion right now will, at some point in the future, be looking for your tranquility. They will be hankering after the tranquility that you have maintained. It is because the selected ones are not loud, but they are unmistakable, that they will look for the clarity that emanates from your presence. Therefore, allow them to misinterpret. Allow them to come forward. Take the time to listen to them. It was never necessary to provide an explanation for you. It was always intended for you to get experience. Additionally, those others who are destined to walk beside you will be able to identify your distinctive frequency. You won't be asked to make any adjustments to it. They are going to rise to the occasion. However, till then you should move quietly. Take a deep breath. Keep your tranquility to yourself, as if it were a priceless treasure. Because what is developing inside of you in the midst of the silence, the solitude, and the secret is not anything that is trivial. The energy in question is spiritual. In addition, it is almost ready. You will find out why everything, even the stillness, the separation, and the silence, has been preparing you for something that will not only alter the course of your life, but it will also awaken your true identity in the next and final instant of this message. Stay right here. A revelation that will reverberate in your soul long after the video has ended is about to be revealed, and we are about to bring this chapter to a close. You, the chosen one, were never intended to blend in with the crowd. You were conceived with the purpose of destroying the illusion by exemplifying the truth. You made the decision to remain silent in a world that is hooked on noise, distraction, and validation. You choose to align yourself. You opted for the truth rather than acceptance. Those were hardly signs of weakness. That was an example of spiritual intelligence. Due to the fact that your silence is not devoid of meaning. This location is a holy place. A place where you are ultimately able to meet your true self through the process of being stripped of everything that is untrue. Your calling is carved not with thunder, but with the slow chisel of divine revelation, and it is in that calm that it is etched. You are now able to view it very well. When you were alone, there was never a pause. Between who you were and who you are becoming, it was a passageway, a secret hallway that had been hidden from view. There was no retreat on your part. You were being purified in some way. You were not disconnected in any way. There was a realignment taking place. You were not deliberately avoiding life. You were establishing a sense of purpose, that peculiar urge to reside in one's surroundings. No one else could comprehend that want for silence, that profound feeling of needing to protect your space, your time, and your spirit. Heaven was drawing you to a higher level, keeping you apart for a sacred purpose, and branding you for a task that requires clarity rather than chaos. You are experiencing it right now, aren't you? A quiet voice within you is saying, "You are almost ready because you are." This inner fire is building, and a holy urgency is developing. Your composure has transformed into a source of power. Because of your quiet, power has been gained. However, your house is no longer only a location. It has become something much more. It is a gateway, a portal that connects the visible and the invisible into one another, where divine downloads are completely unrestricted, where your glow becomes more pronounced when it is dark. This is the place where you remember who you were before the world told you who you should be. In the future, when someone asks you, "Why do you stay home so much?" and stares at you in a sideways manner, you should simply smile and look them in the eye. Share your thoughts by leaving a comment below and saying, "Because that's where I hear God the clearest." My home is my altar, I say. As if it were a declaration, let it reverberate the comment section. Make it clear to others that they are not alone. Allow this time to leave an impression on you since we are not hiding. Now we are getting ready. And once we exit, we will not return to the same place we were before. We will return with anointing, concentration, and indisputable evidence. Thus, maintain your quiet as if it were a sword. For the sake of your spiritual well-being, treat your solitude as if it were a sacred fire, and guard your peace as if it were your life. You are the one who wins. You are unable to escape. You will soon be ascending, and the world will soon follow you.